Hello lovelies. So I want to do my eyebrows with you today. Now this is going to be kind of a challenge for me, and I say that because my eyebrows, although I love a fierce strong eyebrow, are the bane of my existence because they're so different and they're so incredibly overplucked from the 90s. So it takes a lot to really fill them in and shape them and give them a nice full thick look to them. So in order to do that, I'm going to use my Kat Von D. This is a long wear, what do they call it? 24-hour super brow long wear pomade. And I love this product. I've been using it for a while now. I use the color light brown. And when I use this, I also pair it with this really thin, narrow, angled brush. So what I like to do is I like to scoop a bit out and then I put it on the back of my hand. And I like to do this so that the pomade doesn't dry out. That way it stays nice and moist. Otherwise, if you're just kind of constantly dipping and stroking, it's going to dry out. Then it's going to get flaky and it's not going to apply the same way anymore. So I've already put a little bit on the back of my hand. I'm going to kind of narrate some of this and then I'm going to speed through the rest of it because like I said, this is a process for me you don't have to suffer through that with me. But I do want to kind of show you a little bit how I start off. So I like to start in the center by my nose. So kind of a basic rule of thumb is that your eyebrows should come out all the way to the corner of your eye. So if you were to just go from here up to the tip of your eyebrow, that's kind of where they should start. You could also take it out to like the edge of your nose. That's another great way to do it. You can see that that's a big difference for me. So I don't typically do that. And then the other rule of thumb in terms of your length is taking your brush and angling it out to the side. And so you can see how big of a gap there is, how big of a difference there is in terms of where my eyebrows actually end and where they kind of technically should end. So if you see that there. So I'll go ahead and start the process. And then like I said, I'm going to kind of speed through it so that you don't have to be tortured by the long process it is. So I start at the tip and I take my brush up like this and at these small little strokes to kind of help create the look of actual hairs because I am, like I said, overplucked in a lot of ways, and unfortunately they have not grown back, which is pretty sad. Okay, so that's kind of how I start it. I'm going to show you that. And then in terms of filling in on the bottom, because it stops right here, the hairs stop here, I just go straight out until it reaches the other side of my eyebrow. And that would basically be the baseline for my eyebrow. Then from there, I kind of re-measure where the end of my eyebrow should be, technically. And extend my eyebrow line out. You don't have to do that. If you just want to stop at your natural brow line, that's totally fine. This is just what I like to do. Like I said, I like a really strong, fierce eyebrow. So you can see what a difference is already made in terms of increasing the size of my eyebrow as well as the shape. Okay, so let's speed through this process so you don't have to witness the long process that it is. Okay, so one eyebrow is done. You can see what a huge difference that makes. And on a day when maybe I wanted to have like a stronger arch, I would kind of just like take this lower line up a little bit higher versus going all straight out to my brow line. I also realized when I was doing this that I forgot to mention something, that in order to fill in the gap at the top of my arch where I didn't have any hair, I drew a nice soft line going all the way out until the end of that bit of hair as well. And then you take the opposite end of it, or your spoolie if you just have a separate one, and brush the hairs. And this isn't just to make sure that the hair is all going in the same direction to kind of clean up your brow a little bit, but to help thin out the application that you applied so that you can get more of a natural look. And then sometimes you I'm a little heavy-handed and I pulled some of the color off. So then that just kind of helps it. And then you, like I said, I created, oops, dropped my brush, the tail of my eyebrow all the way out to that one point right there. So that is the first eyebrow. I also wanted to mention that in between doing my eyebrows, I like to clean off my brush, and I just do it with a little bit of toilet paper or tissue paper so that I can see how much it removes. I like to do that so I'm kind of starting with a clean brush and there's not gooped up eyebrow pomade. And then it kind of just gives me a fresh start with my brush.